YouTube? What the medieval crap is going on? Heir of Carthage back on Medieval 2 Total War. And I got another battle here for you. This one ought to be interesting. Get a quote there from Pope Urban II, I guess. So, this is going to be a Poland versus Mongols battle. Not the matchup I expected. I've never played against the Mongols, and I have no idea what to expect. Some people seem to downplay them in the comments of my other videos as not being particularly good, but I would think that they're going to have access to a lot of horsemen, which I do find particularly frightening. And this was not an all-period battle either, so my Polish roster was actually very limited. At least I don't think it was an all-period battle. It may have been. Maybe the Polish roster is just very limited as it is. So I've got 4 units of dismounted Polish knights for heavy infantry, but I didn't want to bring a ton of heavy infantry against the Mongols. So I've got 2 Polish guard on my left flank and 2 Polish knights on my right flank. And then I've got a crossbow cav here, which I don't know how to pronounce this, but yeah, it's a crossbow cav. And then I've got 4 dismounted Lithuanian cav, which are going to be my archers. And then up front, I think I've got 4 units of hussars, which are an awesome light cavalry available to the Poles. So, very, very cool unit. I also like the winged hussars that were in Empire Total War. It looks like some of these guys are wearing wings. Not as cool looking as the ones in Empire Total War, but still cool. Anyway, so I, again, know nothing about the Mongol forces. It looks like we got some Mongol infantry, which looks like one of those crossbreed units, where they're part melee, part bow. Behind them, we've got dismounted heavy lancers, so he's got some heavy spear troops. I see some Mongol light lancers and Khan's guard. So I think 2 Mongol light lancers, a Khan's guard, a bodyguard, Khan's guard, Mongol foot archers, another Khan's guard out here, and then 2 Mongol horse archers out here, and another Mongol foot archer. So looks like several heavy cav units. I'm just going to YOLO in with my hussars. He was firing from range and getting a decent number of kills. Now, I should have charged his dismounted heavy lancers. I actually had a charge on his archers. And because my charge is on his archers, I don't end up doing great against his dismounted lancers. I do get a fair number of kills. Hussars are just outrageously deadly on the charge. They're a light, fast cavalry, and they get nice charges. But he's got some Khan's guard, heavy cav, and other stuff chasing me out. But I'm going to bring my Polish knights in now to get into the fight while everything's disrupted. I don't know how well that these Polish knights will do, because again, I'm not familiar with the Mongol units, and there's a lot of enemy heavy cav on the field, which could be dangerous. I do get my Polish guard into his dismounted heavy lancers and Khan's guard. The dismounted heavy lancers being here is going to be a problem. I'm hoping to swing around and rear charge them, and then I reinforce with more dismounted Polish knights. So I'm trying to isolate and destroy pockets of my opponents. I get these hussars through his lines, and I'm going to go after his archers. But he could potentially come after me with his bodyguard, which would easily kill my hussars. And I'm going to need to support my infantry as much as possible. My Polish knights are taking fire from these Mongol infantry that are skirmishing away. And you can see over here I've got more hussars that from the initial charge that I'm pulling around into the enemy back lines. I want to get rid of these Mongol foot archers, and the fast-moving hussars will be great for this. So I think I tried to get a rear charge here, but the bodyguard got in my way. So these Polish guard are going to die, and the dismounted Polish knights are not doing particularly well here because they got hit by a Khan's guard. So I'm having a little struggle with my infantry. Not a ton of them left, but I intend to get some nice charges with these hussars, at least as best I can. So I'm looking for a good rear charge with the hussars at this point. I'm going to try and get behind this unit. I don't think I got enough charging distance here to get a real effective charge, but getting a quick rear charge into the spearmen here. And my Polish knights over here have actually defeated the Mongol cavalry. And my general's bodyguard is doing some work here too. It just I'm trying to chase down this Khan's guard that's going after my dismounted Lithuanian cav. So half the enemy's dead, but they had fewer men than me at first, so this has been a Pyrrhic battle for me so far. So there you go, half my force is dead now too. But I get a very nice rear charge right here with these hussars into the Mongol infantry while front charging with the dismounted Polish knights. So these guys are going to get shredded very quickly, but then I get hit by a bodyguard. So my hussars are now going to die, unfortunately. Let's see, what do I have left over here? Just some dismounted Polish knights fighting away. Mongol infantry going into melee combat. So this is a very close battle right now. His archers are running away from my heavy cav, and it's taking me too long to catch them, and I need this heavy cav too badly over here. So I'm going to bring these Polish knights on back into the battle to try and support my infantry. So here's some dismounted Polish knights fighting some Mongol infantry. Though, to their credit, they'll probably do just fine here. And there's more Mongol infantry here. They're going to actually turn to fire on my Polish knights, it looks like. And I think I'm trying to get lined up for an appropriate charge, because if you don't get enough distance, your charge won't really land home. And I don't think those archers will cause a lot of damage quickly to my cav. I certainly don't want them to just sit here and get shot for too long, though. Yeah, I did lose a cavalryman. So here comes the charge. See, you want them to get their lance down and charge, which they need some space to do. And I didn't exactly get that here, but Mongol infantry is probably not going to do too well one way or the other versus heavy cav. So my Polish knights getting in here, killing a few Mongol infantry, and then these dismounted Polish knights are now free. And then same thing over here, just trying to take out pockets of resistance. These dismounted lancers are now fighting with dismounted Polish knights, 2 of them, but there's hardly any men left in those units. But again, I have the heavy cav left at this point to support. These hussars are going to die here, and then my general's bodyguard is fighting a dismounted lancer here, which is not a smart choice. Yeah. Fighting the dismounted lancer here is not the most brilliant thing I've ever done. I've got my dismounted Lithuanian cav shooting at his horse archers for the most part, just trying to get them off the battlefield so that they can't come into late game and make a big difference. Yeah, these hussars are lasting a long time because these Mongol infantry aren't firing. They're firing at my bodyguard, and they're not actually attacking the guys who are hitting him from behind. So here I'm actually going to get a charge.
A salve upon our wounds, well earned. Victory is ours!
My opponent admits defeat at this point. It was actually still a pretty close battle, but I do think I had him because I had these dismounted Lithuanian cav in the back that had a lot of ammo left, and he didn't really have any cavalry left to kill them. And so they would have done a pretty fair job there. And if we look at the casualties inflicted by my units, this unit of hussars here, this is why I like hussars. I didn't do great with all of them, but that one did a spectacular job. 40 men picking up 142 kills. Very impressive. If we look at any other kills there, another unit of hussars getting 63. Polish knights at 64. Okay. Most of my dismounted Polish knights not getting a ton of kills, but doing a good job at helping to hold the enemy. My crossbow cav actually went off chasing a Mongol horse archer, and I think it managed to kill it, but at a Pyrrhic cost, so it wasn't particularly helpful. But anyway, that was the battle. Hope you all enjoyed it. First time to play against the Mongols. Definitely like the Polish faction, even though they're limited. I've not actually played as the Mongols, so I don't know what to think of them at this point, but leave your comments, tell me what you think. HeirofCarthage signing off for now.